demonstration today to show you a great special occasion breakfast, Eggs Benedict. So the ingredients that we need for this Eggs Benedict are Canadian bacon, butter, lemon juice, eggs, salt and pepper, white pepper is preferred, onion and garlic powder, and white vinegar. You'll need a wire whisk, a slotted spoon, a rubber scraper of some sort, an egg timer, a plate with a few layers of paper towel, a bowl to separate your eggs, a double boiler or a glass bowl that fits tightly over the top of a pot. You can see I have a small amount of water, but not enough to reach the bottom of the bowl. A frying pan for your Canadian bacon, some poaching liquid, and a sheet pan. Okay, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to separate 4 egg yolks. So I'll tap these eggs together. Separate the shell and then toggle this back and forth until the yolk separates from the egg whites. Okay, you need to have 1 tablespoon of water to mix into your eggs. So to make things easy, I'm just going to add 1 tablespoon of tap water to the 2 teaspoons of lemon juice that I have already measured. We're going to take the water and the lemon juice and whisk it into the egg yolks. Now it's time to go on to the double boiler. You want your double boiler water to be simmering but not boiling, and you don't want the water to touch the bottom of the bowl. This part's important. You need to whisk constantly until the egg mixture becomes thick and glossy. You can see that the consistency of the sauce has begun getting very thick and custard-like. And this is when I'm going to just take a moment to check to see how my water's doing. You can see that the water is boiling pretty heavily, so I'm going to turn down the heat just a little bit and allow it to cool and go to a simmer. You want to maintain that heat so that it doesn't overcook your mixture. Now, you can see that we've gotten to the point where the eggs are extremely thick, and now we're going to add in half a stick of butter. And I like to use cold or room temperature butter in this recipe. Many chefs will tell you that the best way to go about doing it is to do it with melted butter, but I find that it's much easier if you start with room temperature or cooled butter because it incorporates much easier. So you can see that the lump of butter is getting smaller and smaller, and I'm whisking, and I'm going to continue whisking until the entire half stick of butter is fully incorporated into the sauce. Now, if I didn't mention it before, this is Hollandaise sauce, and my husband likes to call this holiday sauce because we like to eat it at Easter time and other special occasion breakfasts. So as the butter begins to melt into the sauce, you can see that it's really getting incorporated in there. I'm going to grab the other half stick of butter. And put that in as well. Uh-oh. So again, just stirring this, whisking it constantly until the butter is melted. your sauce ends up getting a little thicker than you want it to, it's a pretty forgiving sauce, and you can add hot water to it and thin it right out. You can also add a little bit more lemon juice to it if you like the flavor of the lemon juice. You definitely would want to season and taste at the very end. So now you can see that the Hollandaise sauce has really come together. I'm going to remove this from the heat. Careful, steam burns. And I'm going to do a little bit of seasoning right now. I'm going to use 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt and white pepper, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of both garlic and onion powder. Now, not all recipes call for onion and garlic powder, but I like it, and I think that it adds a little extra something to the way that the Hollandaise sauce tastes in the end. So we're near done here. And I'm going to wait to do my final seasoning and tasting right before I serve it. But for now, I'm going to use a lid and cover it so it stays warm. And now that the Hollandaise sauce is finished, we're going to toast our English muffins and warm through the Canadian bacon before poaching the eggs. Split the English muffins. You can do this with a fork or a knife. By piercing the sides. We're going to put these under the broiler on high until they're toasted. So we're going to take the Canadian bacon and lay it down into a skillet on medium-high heat until it's warmed on both sides and possibly golden brown. Canadian bacon is fully cooked, so there's not a need for reading the temperature on this. You really are just trying to get it really nice and warmed up. It doesn't take long. While we're waiting, let's go and check on our English muffins in the oven. English muffins really don't take much time. You can see that they're really getting nice and toasty now. So I'm going to remove these from the oven. And continue working on the Canadian bacon, which is going to be ready in just a few moments. Since I still need to poach eggs, I'm going to turn the heat off and cover these so that they're nice and warm when I'm ready to assemble my Eggs Benedict. The last step in making Eggs Benedict is to poach the eggs. I like to break a single egg into a custard cup first. So just like before, I'm tapping 2 eggs together and then carefully opening the egg into a custard cup. Then I'm going to come as close as I can to my simmering, not boiling water, and I'm going to carefully drop it into the water. Now you can see that it kind of spreads out. You can use a slotted spoon to nurse these edges back over the top of the egg. Something I forgot to mention before I drop this egg in here is that using a tablespoon of white distilled vinegar will help the white stay together. You can see how nicely the eggs stayed together. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and break my other 2 eggs and get those poaching as well. get any eggshells in your poached egg. So I just dropped a little eggshell in there, but it's all out now. And I'm carefully going to push the egg white back around the yolk while it's cooking. This one's got a little string. These take approximately 3 minutes. So I'm going to set my egg timer just to make sure that they really are cooked adequately. Okay, I think this was my first one to put in. I'm going to just carefully remove that from the pan with the slotted spoon and gently lay it onto the paper towels that I've reserved. I'll do that with each of these. Come on, you. Now you really want to make sure that your poached eggs are well drained so that when you place these onto your English muffin, that it doesn't, the water from them does not soak into the English muffin and make it soggy. So a tiny taste. It's actually delicious. You can use this to dilute your Hollandaise sauce. I'm just going to put a tablespoon of water into it. And re-whisk it so that it's really nice and creamy. You can see that it just made it come back 100%. The final step in making Eggs Benedict is the assembly. And people do this all different ways. My personal favorite way is to put a little of this delicious sauce right onto the English muffin. Top the English muffin with a nice slice of Canadian bacon. On top of the Canadian bacon, we are going to place the poached eggs.
Sometimes they get a little stuck.
And then lastly, drench these with a nice full spoonful of the Hollandaise sauce. So now I'm going to cut into this and we'll see, hopefully the egg is still really nice and liquid in the center, and you'll be able to see how delicious this looks. It's really amazing. Thanks so much for watching my video. I hope that you have enough courage to try out Eggs Benedict and Hollandaise sauce for yourself. Good luck!